I think this might be the biggest year we've ever had when it comes to amazing news from both Microsoft and Sony. We're going to continue to see studio buyouts. We're going to see great games announced. To me, that's the thing that gets kind of lost in this kind of a situation, is that we get so obsessed with some of the things that are coming on, like the buyouts, like the purchases, that we lose sight of the actual games themselves. And that's really kind of unfortunate, because I think that the games are always and have always been the most important aspect of the video game industry. And like, that's the thing I'm most excited about. This year could be the best year in games as well. And from Sony's side, they definitely have an advantage where the exclusives are concerned this year. Going into next year, I think it might be a little bit different story, and I'm not going to be the guy to go, wait till E3 or wait till next year, because I think Sony has this year locked down in terms of what they have. I think towards the end of the year, we're going to see Microsoft really kind of showcase what they have, and, you know, going into next year, it is pretty ripe for stuff like Avowed, Hellblade 2. You're going to see some of these games come out, maybe even Perfect Dark, Fable. We're getting pretty close to the time when these games should be pretty ready by next year, and Microsoft has a plan, which is to release, one of these big AAAs every quarter of the year. So, you start releasing 4 to 5 big AAAs a year, people start noticing. You really start to grow your platform. There is some negativity around what Microsoft is doing. I see it. I'm sure you guys probably see some of it as well. The reason being is just because, for one, people don't believe the value that they're getting from something like Game Pass. Now, I'm not a huge Game Pass aficionado. I'm very honest and consistent with that. I buy a lot of games, right? I'm just being honest. I buy a lot of games. I have started to use Game Pass a little bit more, but it's not where I go to and go, oh, well, am I, because I'm in the know. So I'm not going to go, oh, well, should I try this game out? I don't want to buy it, but maybe I'll try it. Like, I'm not really like that. Usually I'm pretty in the know what games are coming out and if I want to buy them or not. So that's sort of how I look at these things and how I work. Now, when it comes to Sony, they do things a little bit differently, and they do what's right for themselves. But Microsoft, on the other hand, kind of attacked back at Sony with this bit of information, and that's exactly what they should do, because I just feel like, when it comes down to Sony and Microsoft, these are a couple of companies that are kind of doing things differently, but they're also still competing with each other in a number of ways. So let's get started. Hey there, everybody. I'm Crab Gamer, and this, of course, is Crab Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like, and maybe even possibly consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. Again, I'm so thankful for those of you that do stop by. Please leave us a like. It's incredible when you guys come by and do that and just show your support. I want you guys to know that I am super appreciative of all of this stuff. Now, I know you're busy. I know you are. But again, we see Sony and Microsoft kind of doing a little cat and dog back and forth on the NPD as well, which was announced. So Sony actually won. The PlayStation 5 was the best-selling hardware of January 2022. Xbox Series was number 2. So both of them came out on top of the Switch in a rare sort of situation. It was kind of interesting because we see that Pokemon obviously took the first spot. But what's interesting here is God of War, which is a 2018 game, actually jumped all the way up to number 5 thanks to the PC release. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales jumped up to number 6. It's been there consistently since launch. Halo Infinite went from number 2 to number 18, and Forza Horizon 5 went from 16 to 17, so some steadiness there. Black Ops Cold War rounding out the top 20 at number 20. So again, we keep seeing a lot of these kind of games come out, and people are excited by it. Listen, Microsoft is changing what's going on with gaming, right? They're changing it. Is that going to be what Sony's going to do? I'm not exactly sure. But Microsoft did announce a bit of a good news with what's going on as well, with a new update that's arriving to let you use Microsoft Edge to set custom backgrounds. So Xbox One, Series X, and Series S consoles are now getting a February 2022 software update, and the update is fairly small, but it does introduce a new ability to use Microsoft Edge to set custom backgrounds. With the update bumping the latest Xbox OS version, you can now try out this new option to set custom backgrounds in a few simple steps after it is installed. First off, you can find any image you like in Microsoft Edge, move the browser pointer over to the image, then press the menu button and choose set as background. It's only notable new feature that Microsoft has come out with. Also, I kind of wanted to point this out because a lot of people are talking about the Activision situation, right? The Activision situation, oh, Microsoft, they're not going to get any exclusives out of this, blah, 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 right? Because of what they announced, popular games. I feel like they announced Call of Duty and named that specifically, and they say popular games, which could mean anything. But it's clear that if they wanted Activision to work on something exclusively for Xbox, that could still happen. And we actually have Phil Spencer's own words that they're going to work on some of these older franchises, and they could work on something older. I had a suggestion. I said, it would probably be pretty interesting to see something like Toys for Bob work on like a Banjo-Kazooie remake, a complete remake, the way that they did the some of these things for the Crash Bandicoot series. They did the remakes of those. But anyway, it's just one of those things that I feel like is kind of a little bit of a hit back, and we're seeing that happen. I think that obviously what Microsoft is doing is different than Sony, but both are offering something for fans. So I think that's a little bit of a stark contrast, since we did see that, hey, you know what? Microsoft is going to treat Activision's purchase differently than Sony's treating Bungie's. I do think that, both obviously Bungie and Microsoft have kind of a long history there, but I also think that, that Bungie and Sony have kind of a history, and I have no problem with that. I think that, we'll probably continue to see some very interesting things from them. It's just that obviously it's going to be, I guess multi-plat would be the best way to kind of look at that, and that's going to be fine. I think that that's something that people are just going to have to deal with. Microsoft and Sony are both going to continue to kind of bolster and get like recurring revenue that's going to help them each out. I mean, if you look at it, Microsoft owns multiple things as it is, that's going to help them accomplish their goal, right from like the Havoc engine and things like that, Azure and Minecraft, right? Like Minecraft, I don't know probably how long Minecraft has helped Microsoft show some kind of positive movement in their Xbox division, but it's probably helped tremendously for a long time. Sony, on the other hand, doesn't have anything like that where it's recurring revenue. I mean, they'll certainly make a lot off of sales of their games, but do they have that recurring revenue that's so coveted these days? And I think that's probably the biggest difference between the two, and that's probably why they're starting to do the the games as a service games. It'll be interesting to see how that comes out and how that turns out. With that being said, what do you guys think about this? I mean, Phil Spencer and Microsoft has been pretty honest about, getting some kind of exclusive content from the Activision deal, while Sony gets nothing exclusive from their deal. What do you guys think? I'm very curious to hear how you guys feel about this. Would you prefer them to come with some exclusive stuff? I'm not talking about we're getting stuff on our box that you don't have. I'm talking about, as these companies, they're selling us these boxes, and the differences are what help us buy them. Many of us buy multiple boxes, so I think it'd be very prudent to get some content that's not available elsewhere. But how do you guys feel? Rack them up, fact them up, Crap Gamer them up. Thank you so much for watching. Crap Gamer out.